What interviewers really want to know when they ask, how do you stay organized?
No one wants a hot mess of an employee. Missed deadlines, stopped projects, miscommunications, frustration, beyond struggling in their own role.
A disorganized worker can wreak havoc on their peers, managers, and direct reports, as well as any clients or customers they interact with. It's no surprise that hiring managers, recruiters, and other interviewers are looking to avoid that chaos by asking candidates about their organizational skills, systems, and strategies. Often, it comes in the form of a direct question, like, how do you stay organized? Or, how do you keep yourself organized at work?
If you made your way successfully through any kind of professional, academic, or extracurricular environment, you surely have to take steps to keep yourself organized, such as whether you're using a note-taking app or project management software to track steps and milestones on a larger project, creating a deadline calendar for every assignment, or making a checklist of everything you need to pack for the weekend camping trip. But you may not have spent much time imagining how you talk about the strategies you use. So in this video, we'll go through
why interviewers ask about how you stay organized, 7 tips to answer this question, and example answers for how do you stay organized.
So why interviewers ask about this question?
People have been working remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic, and employers wanted to be sure their staff could handle the work from afar. It was helpful to vividly imagine workers taking ownership, making a step-by-step plan to complete the projects, keeping track of tasks, and reaching out when they needed help or clarity. In that sense, the question is pretty straightforward. Interviewers want to make sure you can get the job done. They want to hear you answer with confidence that you're able to handle a large workload and be able to organize yourself with some kind of system. The question gets at your ability to manage your time, set priorities, and meet deadlines, which will help you thrive in any kind of role. Interviewers also want to know whether you'll take on too much and get overwhelmed or quickly burnt out. Staying organized and managing your time requires self-awareness and the ability to judge when you need to reach out for support. Asking about organization is a way to at least attempt to understand how someone is emotionally aware of strengths and weaknesses.
At the end of the day, what system you use doesn't matter nearly as much as the fact you have one that works for you. They want to know you've thought about it at all. In short, interviewers aren't looking for you to have one right answer. There isn't one. They just want to see if you have an answer. And here are 8 tips to answer this question.
Number 1. Reassure your interviewer. Interviewers are looking for reassurance. You can provide it through what you say. In a nutshell, yes, I'm organized and I can get things done, and even more through how you say it. It's important to answer confidently, with a positive attitude and at a normal pace.
Showing enthusiasm and eagerness to answer this question, and otherwise framing your answer in a positive light, can help reassure the interviewer that you have things under control if they were to hire you. Number 2. Describe your system and be specific. One of the biggest mistakes people make when answering this question is giving a vague and general answer. Interviewers really want to know the details. What exactly do you do? What tools or software do you use? What routine do you follow? And who do you talk to? In any answer to any interview question, the how is the most important.
Do you keep a meticulous paper planner or to-do list? Do you use your Google Calendar to plan and block off time for various recurring responsibilities throughout the week? Do you spend 30 minutes every Friday afternoon or Monday morning reviewing your schedule and workload for the week and managing your priorities? Whatever it is that works for you, make sure you walk the interviewer through it in enough detail so that they can envision the process.
Number 3, attach it to the underlying why.
Covering the how is important, but explaining why can help you showcase other skills and qualities and tie your organization system to impact end results. Your answer should cover how has the system helped you and benefited your team.
For example, if you use software to share updates with your team regarding an ongoing project, you might talk about how this transparency ensures everyone has the information they need to complete their portion and allows you to troubleshoot and make alternate plans for any unforeseen delays, ultimately keeping you on track to finish projects on time and within budget. Number 4, mention communication and calibration. If your goal is to paint a realistic picture of how you operate in your job, you have to take into account your context and surrounding. It is important to knowledge where communications fit into your organization system and strategies.
Perhaps you have a standing agenda item for your weekly one-on-one meetings with your manager to check in about priorities and discuss which pending tasks are most urgent. Or maybe you collaborate with colleagues in another department, or have a monthly report and have set up a workflow using Airtable that allows you to update the status of various components and ping things back and forth at different stages of the process using comments and tagging. Number 5, don't be too rigid. Interviewers want to know that you've thought about organization and time management strategies and that you have a system in place that works for you.
However, they might also want to see if you're flexible enough to adapt to a new team and to unforeseen circumstances.
It's important not to be too pigeonholed or too rigid.
So what if your manager suddenly needs something urgent completed by the end of the day? Or what if your coworker has a family emergency while you are working on a big project together?
If you're organized, you're usually building a foundation to deal with unexpected occurrences.
So acknowledging that things come up and indicating that there is room in your system to adjust can help. Again, reassuring the interviewer.
It may be as simple as adding something like, when an unanticipated task or project comes up, I typically take a few minutes to step back, evaluate what it would require of me, and rework my daily to-do list to accommodate. In some cases, that means checking with my manager to ensure we're on the same page about the relative priority levels and timelines.
Number 6, consider the role you're interviewing for. As with any interview question, you'll want to take the specifics of the role into consideration. If you're interviewing for a management position where you'll be leading a small team, for example, you might want to address how you break down larger projects into smaller components, delegate tasks, and communicate with your direct reports as well as company leaders throughout the process, rather than speaking only about how you track your own work. The same goes for specific tools or methodologies. If you're hoping to step into a sales role and the job description mentions a certain customer relationship management CRM program you've used before, you can weave that into your answer to help the interviewer see how you hit the ground running. Or if you're software manager or product manager, you might talk about how you stay organized and meet deadlines while using specific agile methodologies mentioned in the job posting.
Number 7, make sure your answer is, well, organized. Interviewers love organized answers with numbers. So you might say, first, every week I. Second, each morning I. Third, when it comes to collaborating on larger ongoing projects, I. Then, lastly, when an unexpected or urgent task comes up, I. You could break it up into chronological steps you take, talk about a few different tools or strategies you use, or walk the interviewer through how you approach different scenarios. It's impressive to interviewers when you can organize that on the spot.
So here are example answers for how do you stay organized interview question. Let's say you're applying for a social media coordinator position. You might answer with,
I take pride in my ability to stay organized, and it's really come in handy in my past roles and especially the social media assistant job I'm in now. First, I keep a really meticulous calendar for each of the platforms I'm responsible for using, Hootsuite, which I notice you use here as well. And I try to block off time twice a week to get ahead on creating and slotting posts. Second, I'm a big fan of Trello, where I have one personal board I use as a to-do list, color-coded by type of task and marked with priority level, and one shared with marketing team board that we use to coordinate campaigns across social, media, and other channels. We pay very close attention to the news, in case we need to pause a campaign to avoid launching any insensitive content. If needed, I'd tag all the relevant stakeholders on Trello, immediately suspend all scheduled content in Hootsuite, and depending on the scale of the situation, start a discussion on Slack or suggest a meeting to reassess strategy. Finally, I created a shared folder on Google Drive with subfolders by campaign that I update with one-pagers on goals and strategies, assets, a record of the posts deployed, the performance analysis I conduct after each one, and notes from our team retros. That way, there's a go-to place for anyone on the team to refer back to past projects, which I found really helps us learn from every campaign and incorporate those learnings into what we're working on next. If you like this video, please like and comment.
Subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future updates. See you next time!
Bye!
Whether it's using a note-taking app.
Sorry.
Why? Why?
No, you were great. You were great.
But why did you?
The way you look at me. The extracurricular? Trying to smile and feel happy. It's like it's just bubbled over. Like, happy.